Dr. Thomas Reed stared at his computer screen, his third cup of coffee growing cold beside his keyboard. The lab was quiet at 3 a.m., just the way he liked it. The results on his screen made him sit up straight, suddenly more alert than any caffeine could make him. "This can't be right," he muttered, taking another sip of coffee without thinking. The data showed something impossible. Human bodies weren't just tolerating caffeine. They were evolving to use it in ways that defied conventional biology. The discovery had started by accident. Tom had been studying human performance enhancement for the military when he noticed strange patterns in soldier performance tests. The troops who drank coffee regularly weren't just more alert. Their bodies were processing the caffeine in completely unique ways. Above his head, hidden in the night sky, members of the Galactic Council's surveillance team watched Earth through their advanced monitoring systems. They had been studying humans for decades, marking them as an emerging spacefaring race. But they had missed something crucial. "Forward these readings to Central Command," the lead observer said to his team. "The humans are consuming toxic stimulants again. Add it to the list of their strange behaviors." The alien observer sipped his regulation-approved nutrient solution, unable to understand why any species would willingly poison themselves with bitter plant extracts. Back in his lab, Tom pulled up more test results. The soldiers in his study had shown incredible improvements: faster reaction times, better decision-making, and enhanced physical performance. But it wasn't just the immediate effects of caffeine that interested him. Something else was happening. He opened a new file and began typing. Project Summary. Human Caffeine Evolution. Subject group shows 47% better stimulant processing than historical data. Enhanced neural pathway formation during caffeine metabolism. Improved physical performance beyond standard stimulant effects. Possible evolutionary adaptation to caffeine consumption. Tom reached for his coffee cup again, then laughed when he realized what he was doing. He was proof of his own research, a scientist working through the night, powered by what the rest of the galaxy would consider a poison. The next morning, Tom walked into the military research facility with his findings. His boss, General Lisa Miller, was already waiting in the conference room. She had responded to his urgent message right away. "This better be good, Reed," she said, holding her own large coffee cup. "You don't usually send messages marked critical discovery at 3 a.m. Tom connected his laptop to the screen. "General, what I'm about to show you changes everything we thought we knew about human enhancement." He pulled up his data charts. "We've been studying caffeine as a stimulant, but we've been missing the bigger picture. Our bodies aren't just using it. We're evolving to use it better than any other known species could." General Miller leaned forward, her military training making her quick to see the implications. "Are you saying we have a built-in advantage that other species don't?" "Exactly," Tom said, warming to his subject. "Think about it. Humans drink coffee or tea daily. We've been doing it for centuries. Our bodies have adapted to not just tolerate these stimulants, but to use them in ways that enhance our natural abilities. No other known species does this." The general's phone buzzed. A message from Space Command. The first hints of alien surveillance had been detected in Earth's orbit. First contact was coming sooner than anyone had expected. She looked at Tom's data again, seeing it in a new light. "Keep this quiet for now," she ordered. "Continue your research, but classify everything. If we're about to meet alien life, this might be more important than we realize." Tom nodded, gathering his materials. As he walked back to his lab, he couldn't help but smile. Somewhere up there, alien observers were probably watching humans drink their daily coffee, thinking they were seeing a primitive species poison themselves for no reason. They had no idea they were watching humanity's secret weapon brew right under their noses. In orbit, the Galactic Council's observation team updated their daily report. Humans continue their bizarre ritual of consuming toxic bean extract. Recommendation: consider possible mental instability of species before making contact. They had no idea they were documenting the very thing that would soon make humans the most feared species in the galaxy, all thanks to a simple cup of coffee. Lieutenant Jennifer Hayes stood at attention in front of the mirror, adjusting her uniform one last time. In 30 minutes, she would lead Earth's first diplomatic mission to the Galactic Council. Her hand trembled slightly as she reached for her morning coffee, her fourth cup since dawn. Last cup of coffee in Earth's atmosphere, she said to herself, savoring the warm drink. The military had packed enough coffee for the diplomatic team, classified as essential supplies after Dr. Reed's discovery last month. The massive alien ship waited in orbit, its sleek design unlike anything humans had built. Jennifer and her team of 5 diplomats would make first contact not on Earth, but in the Galactic Council's headquarters near Alpha Centauri. "Lieutenant Hayes, they're ready for us," said Mark Thompson, her communications officer. He held his own travel mug, steam rising from the lid. The team boarded the alien shuttle, each carrying their essential supplies in sealed containers. The alien crew watched with curiosity as the humans settled in, noting their alert eyes and steady hands despite the early hour. "Welcome, Earth representatives," the alien captain said through a translator. "I am First Guide Trell. Please refrain from consuming any substances during the journey. Our medical team must first clear them for safety." Jennifer smiled politely. "Of course, First Guide." She didn't mention the coffee they had all just finished. No need to start diplomatic relations with an argument about beverages. The journey took 6 hours. The alien ship moved through space in ways that defied Earth physics, but Jennifer's team stayed focused and alert, thanks to their pre-journey coffee consumption that the aliens hadn't witnessed. At the Galactic Council headquarters, everything went smoothly until the medical screening. The alien doctors stared at their instruments in horror. "These readings must be wrong," the chief medical officer said, scanning Jennifer again. "Your entire team shows high levels of toxic stimulants in your system. This is a serious concern." Jennifer tried to explain. "It's just coffee, a traditional Earth beverage. It's completely safe for humans." The medical bay erupted in chaos. The aliens had never encountered a species that willingly consumed stimulants as part of their daily routine. Emergency calls went out to the Council's security team. "Please remain calm," Jennifer said, maintaining her diplomatic composure. "I can prove it's safe. We've brought samples for cultural exchange." The Council's main chamber was huge, with representatives from hundreds of species. Jennifer stood at the podium, surrounded by worried alien faces. Behind her, a simple coffee maker sat on a table, her secret weapon. "Honored council members," she began, "let me demonstrate a crucial part of human culture." She calmly made a cup of coffee, the rich smell filling the chamber. Several alien species moved back in their seats. "This beverage has been part of human civilization for centuries," she explained. "It helps us work better, think faster, and stay alert." She took a sip, causing several council members to gasp. The council's security director stood up. "You mean to tell us that humans regularly consume this stimulant, and your government allows this?" "Allows it," Jennifer smiled. "Our government runs on it. Most humans drink it daily." The council chamber filled with worried whispers. The security director huddled with his team, their translator working overtime as they discussed this revelation. "Lieutenant Hayes," the council leader finally spoke, "we must discuss this disturbing information. A species that casually consumes stimulants is unprecedented. The implications for galactic security are concerning." Jennifer kept her diplomatic smile, but inside she was laughing. If they were this worried about coffee, wait until they learned about energy drinks. "We look forward to these discussions," she said calmly. "Would anyone like to try a cup while we talk?" The horrified looks on alien faces told her everything. Humanity's first diplomatic mission to the stars had revealed something unexpected. Their morning cup of coffee might be the most powerful weapon they'd brought to the galaxy. In the back of the chamber, Mark Thompson sent a coded message to Earth. "Coffee revealed. Council shocked. Suggest sending more beans. Diplomatic advantage identified. James Cooper stood in the testing chamber of the Galactic Council's military facility. 10 alien observers watched him from behind thick safety glass. They had demanded a full assessment of human capabilities, and as Earth's top combat instructor, James was chosen to show them. "Are you sure you want to proceed?" the alien medical officer asked through the speaker. "Our scans show dangerous levels of stimulants in your system." James smiled, holding up his empty coffee cup. "Just my morning coffee, nothing to worry about. I'm ready when you are." The assessment chamber came to life. Training robots emerged from the walls, the most advanced combat machines in the galaxy. The alien observers had assured Earth's diplomatic team that no organic being had ever beaten more than 2 of them at once. James took a sip from his backup coffee thermos. The aliens watching him made worried notes on their tablets. "Begin assessment," the lead observer announced. The robots moved fast, but James moved faster. His coffee-enhanced reflexes kicked in as he dodged the first attack. The aliens watched in shock as he flipped over one robot, used its momentum against another, and disabled both in under 10 seconds. "Impossible," one observer muttered. "The stimulants should be making him unstable, not enhancing his performance." 3 more robots joined the fight. James kept moving, his movements smooth and controlled. He had trained like this thousands of times back on Earth, always with a cup of coffee before practice. To him, caffeine and combat went together like breathing and walking. "Subject shows no signs of fatigue," the medical officer reported, sounding worried. "Heart rate elevated but stable. Mental focus actually improving." James disabled the last robot with a perfect takedown move. He hadn't even broken a sweat. Walking to his thermos, he poured another cup of coffee while the aliens frantically reviewed their data. "Mr. Cooper," the lead observer called out, "we would like to repeat the test, but this time without your beverage." James shrugged. "Sure, but I should warn you. It's still in my system from earlier. It'll take hours to wear off." The second round of testing was even more impressive. James moved through increasingly difficult combat scenarios, his performance actually improving as the caffeine from his morning coffee kicked in fully. In the observation room, the alien officials were panicking. "This changes everything," the military advisor said. "If one human can do this with just a simple stimulant, imagine an entire army. They wouldn't even need advanced weapons. Their bodies are weapons, enhanced by this coffee." The test finally ended after James beat the facility's combat simulator record. He wasn't even tired. The aliens had seen enough. "Thank you for your cooperation," the lead observer said stiffly. "We need to discuss these results with the council immediately." As James left the facility, he sent a message to Lieutenant Hayes. "They're terrified. Wait until they find out I only had regular coffee. Didn't even break out the espresso." The alien observers gathered in their secure meeting room. The data from James's performance filled screens around them. "This must be reported immediately," the military advisor insisted. "These humans are not just drinking stimulants, they're using them to become superior fighters. Their entire species has evolved to turn a simple drink into a combat enhancement drug. Worse," the medical officer added, "they appear to enjoy it. They treat this powerful stimulant as a casual beverage. There are no regulations, no controls." The lead observer looked at the final performance data one more time. "Send word to the council. We recommend immediate classification of all Earth stimulants as controlled substances. These humans are too dangerous when enhanced." As the message went out, James Cooper sat in the facility's waiting room, calmly drinking another cup of coffee. He smiled at the nervous alien staff who kept their distance. If they were this worried about regular coffee, he couldn't wait to see their reaction when they learned about pre-workout supplements. Captain Michael Wilson stood on the bridge of his ship, the Morning Brew, staring at the official notice from the Galactic Council. He read it aloud to his crew. "As of today, all Earth-based stimulants, including but not limited to coffee, tea, and related substances, are classified as controlled military-grade performance enhancers. Transport of these substances between systems is strictly prohibited. The crew looked at their coffee cups guiltily. They had just left Earth's space dock with a 6-month supply of coffee in their cargo hold, standard supplies for any human space mission. "What do they expect us to drink?" asked First Officer Rachel Brooks, holding her favorite coffee mug protectively. "Their approved nutrient solutions taste like old socks." Michael rubbed his temples. The morning brew was supposed to be a simple cargo transport, running supplies between Earth and the new human colonies. Now, technically, they were all drug smugglers. "Message from Earth Command," the communications officer announced. "They say to continue our mission as planned. The coffee is listed as emergency survival rations in our cargo manifest." The crew relaxed a little, but their relief was short-lived. A Galactic Council patrol ship appeared on their sensors. "This is Council Enforcement Vessel 547, a stern voice announced. "Prepare for routine cargo inspection." Michael looked at his crew. They had minutes to decide what to do with enough coffee to be labeled as serious smugglers under the new laws. "Hide it in plain sight," Rachel suggested quickly. "The aliens still don't understand why we drink it. Let's use that." Working fast, the crew moved their coffee supply into the ship's waste recycling tanks. They cleaned out several tanks and filled them with their precious coffee supply. On the tanks, they posted warning signs in multiple languages. "Human biological waste processing. Hazardous materials." The council inspectors boarded the ship wearing protective suits. They walked right past the recycling tanks, their sensors unable to identify the coffee properly through the heavy shielding. "Your ship's caffeine readings are unusually high," the lead inspector said, checking his instruments. "Oh, that's just residual," Michael explained calmly. "We had coffee before leaving Earth. It takes time to leave our systems." He didn't mention the fresh cup he finished right before they boarded. The inspectors left, filing a note about the strange lingering effects of human stimulant use. As soon as they were gone, the crew burst into laughter. "They really don't understand humans at all," Rachel said, already heading to retrieve fresh coffee from their hidden supply. Over the next few weeks, the Morning Brew developed a reputation for being surprisingly efficient at its cargo runs. Other ships needed regular rest stops, but Michael's crew stayed alert and active through their entire shifts. "It's because they're all still contaminated with stimulants," one council observer noted in a report. "These humans seem to function better while poisoned." The truth was simpler. The Morning Brew had become the first successful coffee smuggling operation in space. At every human colony they visited, a few packages of waste processing materials would disappear from their cargo. Earth Command sent them coded messages of approval. While diplomats argued about the coffee ban in council meetings, ships like the Morning Brew kept humanity's most important supply line running. "You know what's funny?" Michael said to Rachel one quiet shift. "The council thinks they're preventing humans from becoming too powerful, but they're actually teaching us to be sneakier." Rachel nodded, sipping from her hidden coffee mug. "They'll have to learn eventually. You can't separate humans from coffee. We'll always find a way." In his private log that night, Michael made a simple entry. "Day 47 of the Great Coffee Ban. Council still doesn't understand. Their scientists are baffled by our continuing stimulant contamination. If they ever check our recycling tanks, we're in trouble. But until then, the Morning Brew keeps brewing." Amanda Taylor wiped down the counter of her secret coffee shop, hidden deep within Beta Station's maintenance level. 6 months ago, she had been a regular barista in Seattle. Now she ran the most popular illegal establishment in this sector of space. Another group of young aliens at the door, her partner Brian Miller whispered. "They're using the correct knock pattern." Amanda nodded, pressing the button that opened the hidden entrance. 3 alien youngsters shuffled in, their eyes darting around nervously. They belonged to a species that looked like tall, blue-skinned humans, and they had become some of her best customers. "Welcome to the Underground Bean," Amanda said warmly. "First time." The tallest alien stepped forward. We heard you serve the human-powered drink here. The one that makes you stronger and smarter. Amanda held back a laugh. The aliens had built up such wild ideas about coffee. We call it coffee, and yes, we do. But I should warn you, not all species can drink it safely. She had learned that lesson the hard way. Now she kept a medical scanner handy, checking each new species before serving them their first cup. Dr. Reed's research had helped identify which aliens could safely process caffeine. They check out, Brian said, looking at the scanner results. Their biology is similar enough to humans. They can try a small cup. Amanda prepared 3 small laths, making them extra weak for the first-timers. Around her, the hidden cafe was filling up with its regular crowd, a mix of humans and aliens who had discovered the joy of coffee culture. "This is amazing," one of the new aliens said after their first sip. "I feel more awake already." Word of the underground bean had spread through the station's younger alien population. To them, coffee wasn't just a drink. It was an act of rebellion against the council's strict rules. They came for the thrill, but stayed for the atmosphere and community. "Message from our supplier," Brian said quietly, checking his secure communicator. "The morning brew will dock tomorrow with our next shipment. They're hiding it in the waste processing tanks again." Amanda smiled. Captain Wilson's crew had become the lifeline for shops like hers across human and alien space. The council's ban had created an unexpected underground economy. "You know what's funny?" she said to Brian as they served more customers. "The council thought banning coffee would stop it from spreading. Instead, they made it more interesting to the younger aliens. Now it's not just a drink, it's a symbol of freedom." The cafe's hidden screens suddenly flashed red, their warning system for council inspectors. Amanda quickly activated their cover protocol. In seconds, the underground bean transformed back into a storage room, with all traces of coffee and cups hidden behind false walls. The inspector walked right past their hidden entrance, never noticing the dozens of beings inside enjoying their illegal beverages. As soon as he was gone, everyone relaxed. "That was close," one of the new aliens said, excited by the danger. "Just another day at the underground bean," Amanda replied, already back to brewing. "You should have seen last week when we had to hide everything because the station commander's daughter wanted a secret cappuccino." By the end of her shift, Amanda had served over 200 customers from 12 different species. Each one left with a new appreciation for human culture and a slight caffeine buzz. In her private log that night, she wrote, "Day 180 of coffee prohibition. Sold out of espresso again. These alien kids are starting to develop favorite drinks. The blue ones love mochas. The tall silver species prefers Americanos. The council wanted to stop coffee from spreading, but they forgot one thing. Good ideas, like good coffee, have a way of bringing people together." The next day, as Amanda prepared to open her hidden cafe, she noticed something new. The alien youngsters were starting to copy human mannerisms, meeting for coffee dates, and even trying to do homework in her cafe. Coffee culture wasn't just surviving in space, it was evolving. Commander Robert Martinez looked at the emergency alert flashing on his screen. An aggressive alien species called the Ravagers had attacked a Galactic Council outpost near the Orient sector. The Council's regular forces had failed to stop them. "This is our chance," he said to his team of human special forces. "Time to show the Council what coffee-powered humans can really do." His unit, nicknamed the Coffee Warriors, had been training in secret on Earth. They were the best of the best, and each one had a built-in advantage. Their bodies were perfectly adapted to use caffeine for enhanced performance. "Council Defense Command is requesting immediate assistance," his communications officer reported. "Their forces have been awake for 3 days straight trying to defend the outpost. They're exhausted." Robert smiled. "Tell them help is coming. Team, prep your combat suits and get your pre-mission coffee ready." The human soldiers gathered in the ship's mess hall, each one going through their personal coffee ritual. Some preferred plain black coffee, others added sugar or cream. But they all knew one thing. Their chemical enhancement was about to save a lot of lives. Remember, Robert told his team, the council thinks coffee is a dangerous drug. Let's show them it's actually a tool for peace. Their ship, secretly equipped with the latest coffee-making technology, dropped out of hyperspace near the battle zone. The scene was chaos. The Ravager ships were destroying everything in their path, while the exhausted Council forces could barely respond. Council Command, this is Commander Martinez. We're here to help. Just stay back and watch. Robert's team launched into action. Unlike the tired Council forces, they were alert and ready thanks to their coffee. Their ships moved faster, their reactions were sharper, and their minds were clear. Impossible, one Council commander said, watching the humans fight. They've been in combat for hours, but they're not showing any signs of fatigue. The Ravagers didn't know what hit them. They had expected to find more tired, slow-moving Council forces. Instead, they faced humans operating at peak performance, powered by what the Council had banned as a dangerous substance. Squad 2, take the left flank, Robert ordered, sipping from his tactical coffee mug between commands. Squad 3, protect those civilian transports. One by one, the Ravager ships either retreated or were disabled. The human forces moved with incredible speed and precision, their coffee-enhanced reflexes making them almost unstoppable. In just 6 hours, the battle was over. The Council outpost was saved, and the Ravagers had been driven away. Robert's team gathered back on their ship, already brewing fresh coffee for their after-action reports. Commander Martinez, the Council Defense Minister, called. Your performance was remarkable, but our scanners show high levels of stimulants in your entire team. Are you using combat drugs? Robert held up his coffee mug. Just this, sir. The same drink you banned. The same one that kept us alert and focused while your forces were falling asleep at their posts. The Council chambers erupted in debate. Some members wanted to punish the humans for using banned substances. Others couldn't deny the results. A human team had succeeded where the Council's best forces had failed. Maybe, one Council member suggested quietly, we were too hasty in banning their beverage. Robert filed his mission report that evening, noting how the Council observers had watched in amazement as his team stayed sharp and focused hour after hour. At the bottom, he added a simple note. Mission successful. Coffee consumption, 47 cups. Casualties, 0. Council's opinion of coffee, changing rapidly. In the ship's mess hall, his team celebrated their victory the only way humans knew how, with another round of fresh coffee. They had just proven that humanity's favorite drink wasn't just a beverage or even a drug. In the right hands, it was a tool for protecting peace in the galaxy. Dr. Emily Parker stood before the Galactic Council's Science Division, her research results displayed on the giant screens behind her. After 6 months of studying human biology and caffeine interactions, she had finally discovered why humans were different from every other species. Look at this comparison, she said, pointing to 2 brain scans. On the left is a normal alien brain processing a stimulant. On the right is a human brain processing caffeine. Notice anything unusual? The alien scientists leaned forward, their eyes widening as they studied the images. The human brain showed patterns they had never seen before. Humans don't just tolerate caffeine, Emily explained. Their bodies have evolved to use it as a natural enhancement. It's like their DNA has been slowly rewriting itself for thousands of years, all because of coffee and tea. The head of the science division raised his hand. Are you saying humans have accidentally engineered themselves? Emily smiled. Exactly. While other species see caffeine as a toxin, human bodies treat it like a key that unlocks hidden abilities. We're the only species that can do this. She switched to her next slide, showing data from Commander Martinez's recent battle. During the fight against the Ravagers, his team showed enhanced strength, speed, and mental focus. But here's the amazing part. Their bodies weren't stressed or damaged. They were working exactly as they should. The room full of alien scientists burst into excited discussion. Some looked worried, others fascinated. Emily understood their concern. Humans had accidentally created something that their best scientists couldn't copy. "There's more," she continued. "Remember Amanda Taylor's underground coffee shop? The aliens who can safely drink coffee show tiny changes in their biology. Nothing like humans, but it proves that controlled caffeine use could benefit other species too." One of the oldest alien scientists stood up. "Dr. Parker, are you suggesting we end the coffee ban?" "I'm suggesting we study it properly," Emily replied. "Humans didn't become coffee-dependent warriors overnight. It took thousands of years of drinking coffee and tea for our bodies to adapt. We evolved alongside these plants, creating a perfect partnership." She showed them one final image, a simple cup of coffee next to a human DNA strand. "This isn't just a drink to us. It's part of who we are. The Council can ban coffee, but they can't change human biology. We'll always process caffeine differently than any other species." The science division called for an emergency meeting with the full council. Emily's research had changed everything they thought they knew about humans. "Think about it," she told them. "Humans don't need special weapons or advanced technology to be effective. We just need something as simple as coffee. It's not a weakness. It's our greatest strength." As the council debated, Emily received messages from around the galaxy. Dr. Reed congratulated her on proving his theories. Commander Martinez thanked her for explaining why his coffee-powered team worked so well. Even Amanda sent a note from her hidden cafe, saying the alien customers were fascinated by the news. "What do you recommend?" the council leader asked Emily. She thought carefully before answering. "Stop fighting human nature. Instead of banning coffee, learn from it. Humans have shown we can use it responsibly. We've turned a simple plant into something that makes us better, stronger, and more focused. But we've never used it to start wars or hurt others. We just want our morning cup of coffee." In her private notes that evening, Emily wrote, "Day one of a new understanding. The council finally sees the truth. Humans aren't addicts or warriors or threats. We're just a species that found an unusual way to improve ourselves. And it all started with a simple cup of coffee." The next morning, as she prepared for another day of explaining human biology to alien scientists, Emily made herself a cup of coffee. In the cup's reflection, she saw not just a drink, but the future of human-alien relations. Colonel David Anderson walked into the newly opened Starbase coffee shop, the first legal coffee establishment in Galactic Council space. The sight would have been impossible just 3 months ago. Humans and aliens sitting together, sharing Earth's most famous drink. "Your usual, Colonel?" asked the barista, an alien who had trained under Amanda Taylor herself. The council had finally lifted the coffee ban, and things were changing fast. "Black coffee, extra strong," David replied. He had a big day ahead. The council had called for a special meeting to discuss humanity's new role in galactic society. Behind him, a group of alien military officers carefully sipped their lattes. After Commander Martinez's coffee-powered team saved the outpost, everyone wanted to learn about human combat techniques. David smiled, remembering how scared they had once been of coffee. "Colonel Anderson," a council page called. "They're ready for you." The council chamber looked different now. Instead of this strict, formal setup, they had added small tables with drinks. Many council members had their own coffee cups, though most still chose very weak blends. "Thank you for coming," the council leader said. "We're here to discuss the future of human-alien relations, particularly regarding your unique abilities." David set his coffee cup on the podium. "You mean our coffee drinking?" "Precisely. Dr. Parker's research has proven that humans are uniquely adapted to use caffeine safely. Commander Martinez's team showed its military value. And Miss Taylor's coffee shops have demonstrated its cultural importance." The council displayed a new agreement on the main screen. David read it carefully, smiling as he understood what it meant. "You want humans to be the galaxy's rapid response force?" he asked. "Who better?" The military commander replied. "Your coffee-enhanced abilities make you perfect for emergency situations. You stay alert longer, think faster, and work better under pressure. All thanks to a drink we once thought was poison." David looked at the details. Earth would maintain independent control of its coffee production and culture. In return, human forces would help protect Council space. They would also teach other species about safe coffee consumption. "There's more," the Council leader added. "We're establishing coffee shops as cultural exchange centers. Your Amanda Taylor will oversee the program. Dr. Parker and Dr. Reed will lead research into caffeine compatibility for different species." The agreement wasn't just about military power. It was about sharing human culture with the galaxy. Coffee had become a bridge between worlds. "We accept," David said, raising his coffee cup in a salute. That evening, celebrations broke out across Council space. The Morning Brew, no longer a smuggling ship, became the first official coffee transport vessel. Captain Wilson proudly removed the waste processing labels from his cargo tanks. Amanda's underground bean came above ground, becoming the flagship store for a galaxy-wide chain of coffee shops. Her alien baristas were in high demand as more stations opened their own cafes. Commander Martinez's team started training other species in what they called coffee combat, teaching them how to safely use caffeine to enhance their natural abilities. Dr. Parker's research helped identify which species could join the program. In his final report to Earth Command, David wrote, "Who would have thought our morning cup of coffee would change the galaxy? We didn't need advanced weapons or special technology. We just needed to be ourselves, a species that turned a simple bean into something extraordinary." The next council meeting began not with formal announcements, but with a coffee break. As David watched humans and aliens sharing drinks and stories, he realized they had achieved something remarkable. Coffee hadn't just saved humanity's place in the galaxy, it had made the galaxy a better place. "More coffee, Colonel?" the alien barista asked. "Always," David replied. "After all, it's not just a drink anymore. It's the taste of peace in the galaxy."